I'm originally from the automotive industry. I've been in construction for 11 years and in automotive for about 15. And it was a great opportunity to come forward and leave the industry that was unfortunately dying and come into something where we could transfer our automotive people in Australia could transfer our skills into different areas. And Shannon, who's here today, also is one of those ex-Holden guys. So we're really grateful and honoured to have the privilege of joining another industry. I'll go back. Oops. The first slide is it's innovation, and that's what really separates anybody competing in this marketplace. We can all produce great products, but if we're not first to market and staying ahead of the pack, we're not going to survive very long. And innovation is not just about creating new ideas, it's improving the old ones and learning lessons from that. And Sync is really proud is that culture is ingrained in our people. We're always looking to see how we can be better tomorrow. What lessons have we learnt from today, and how can we be better tomorrow to give our customers better products? Sync manufactures high quality bathrooms. They're built off-site, and I'm sure you guys know all the benefits of off-site construction. They're true, they're real, we do it every day. So it's not just a sales pitch. We live it. So we reduce waste, but not waste as in material put in the bin, but waste as in we design for manufacture. We digitise our processes. We try and do things once the right way. And we document that, and we pull people on the journey with us. And that could be architects, builder developers, and our supply chain, where in the last 8 years we've done an incredible amount of work with those stakeholders to get them on the journey. I think the thing that we're most proud of is that our bathroom pods are actually made in Melbourne, in Laverton North, in our facility. We're up to 30,000 bathrooms now after 8 years, so we're really proud of that milestone. And the other thing is that we've delivered on time and in full. We've never held up a job or stopped a job. And that's because we're making those products here in Australia, in our backyard. We're not relying on an overseas shipping model or importing of things in a shipping container, which, as we know today in this current climate, has given us a lot of uncertainty with supply. We've also got a lot of internal business units inside of it. So what you'll see our bathroom pod up there, we make a lot of components that go in that bathroom pod, so we're quite self-performing. So we have total control, total ability to rapid prototype things and get a prototype or get a design to our customers very, very quickly. This is just I'll just show a short little video of our facility just so you guys can put it into context. So that's our facility at Laverton North. There's lots of solar panels on the roof that help power us. That's our bathroom pod business. Very linear process, systemised. It's not a moving fancy production line with lots of robots. We employ 200 people. We've probably spent $8 or $9 million in technology in terms of CNC equipment and many other systems, so that our digital systems are talking straight to our machines. We can produce, it's a scalable business, so we can take up more or less area, and we produce around about 25 to 30 bathrooms a day out of this facility. That's finished, complete, wrapped, and ready to be shipped. And I think that'll stop by itself. Yep. So why choose Sync? And I think I've already been through some of those, but we're made here in Australia. And I think for me, that's probably the most significant and proudest moment for me, is that we're employing local people, local graduates, people in that western suburbs area. So they're all very close to us. They're like a family. We condensed down 12 trades into one stop, and we have full control of them. As you could see when you were flying through our facility, there's nowhere to hide. Everything's measurable, everything's QA'd, checked. It's very easy to see what's going on. It's very transparent. We are what we call a mass customised business. So we don't make the white Toyota Camry and pump out 1 million of those. We make bathrooms of all different shapes and sizes for hotels, hospitals, residential, prisons. We've been and done just about everything. And the next phase for us is how do we add more value and add more content? And I think today is the nice being invited here to talk to you guys and AMCA is that you guys are all about mechanical stuff mainly. We bolt a lot of that onto our pods when we can. We probably don't do as much of it as we could, but we'd love to collaborate more and do more with the mechanical side of things. We bolt on a lot of electric hot water systems, wiring looms, distribution boards. So our pod becomes very much a vehicle to carry a lot of other infrastructure up into the building. Keep going. Manufactured in Australia, keep saying that. A lot of people think that our product comes from somewhere else. It doesn't. Local job creation and vertically integrated business. So we've been through that. So we're self-performing. We do a lot of work in-house. A lot of sub-assembly and sub-component manufacture in-house. Less waste and sustainability. So we recycle everything. We separate packaging. We work with our suppliers to minimise packaging. And I think when you guys get a chance offline, just click on that QR code. That'll take you to a case study that we did with Mirvac Constructions. We do a lot of work for Mirvac Commercial Constructions. We've been working for them for the last 6 years. And that's all they'll use with us. They'll use pods and pods only. That's their business decision. And they'll use sink bathroom pods. Their domestic housing division, so the guys that build the townhouse sort of stuff out in wherever and wherever in Victoria and New South Wales, that's their case study. So that's their pitch to their management to show why they needed to spend a little bit more money and put bathroom pods in their facility. So everyone looks at bathroom pods and says, you cost more. Yes, we do cost more. But it's all those other costs that are realised and saved that people don't see up front that get saved later on. And you'll see that. So please have a look at that. 12 trades in one stop. Another big challenge. So when we started this business, I started it with 4 people in a corner of a room, and I pinched some people from Holden to help me do some CAD design. But it was all about training tradespeople and semi-skilled people to think more like manufacturers and be more efficient. And basically, I started talking words of manufacturing, and people thought I was from a different planet, from Mars. And what I found was it was better off just to get people engaged and buy in and do things, and then we'll call it the fancy names later on. We use qualified plumbers, electricians, and waterproofers for all our work, and semi-skilled to low-skilled labour for all our other tasks. And the reason why we can do that is because we're designing in CAD 3D, and we spit out parts, components of parts, and we build that, and we build kits. And those kits, if you've got some basic, really good mechanical aptitude, you can put that together really quickly and with quality and precision. And we talk about trades in there, but one of the most important things is that we're actually giving opportunities to people without trade skills. We're giving opportunities to mums who want to start a bit later after they drop off kids at school. One of those mums operates an edge banding machine where that edges our joinery panels. We make our own joinery. We've got a couple of other mums who run around and do all our QA and enter all that into our digitised systems. I'll tell you, we don't want to mess with them. You don't want to get it wrong. And basically, we're creating lots of opportunities for people that would never ever be able to get into the construction industry by taking the skills they do have and matching it to what we do. So that's very much a manufacturing model. So pretty much like in the car industry, you won't have a motor mechanic installing an engine or an auto electrician wiring a car. You'll have a kit of parts, you'll have a process, and you'll have competent people. And I think this is where I want to spend a little bit of time, is that we talk a lot about technology and BIM and all this stuff and whatever, but the most important asset, and it sounds really cliche, is great people. And I tell you what, we've got them. And without that, you can't do anything else. We've got great people who know how to use these tools. So this is just constructing the pod. We're not even talking about the people who are project managing it, designing it, sitting in front of a CAD screen. There was no BIM when we started bathroom pods. We just took what we knew from the automotive industry, which was pretty much similar to BIM anyway, and we made it work. Mass customization. So I think the other thing to talk about is that we're not limited in what we do or what we produce. I think what we do very well is have standardized, validated details for drains, for set downs, for interfaces to components that we know are validated and work. So while we're not reinventing the wheel on the real critical bits, we've got some design freedom to do other things that allow us to be almost everything to everybody. And we're certainly not compromising any architectural design in any way. So I think this is just some CAD stuff. We 3D model everything to the millimetre. So we're not just putting something in Revit that's a pretty picture and might look like it's half connected. That model, I can go in there and interrogate every screw, the screws that are holding that fire collar into that red piece of fire check panel. I can spit out a bomb. I can do all that. And I do that with the help of Autodesk. And we use Inventor. So Autodesk, who are hosting today, are great partners of ours and working with us side by side to help us get through those challenges and help us do what we've got to do to design for manufacture and get it right first time. Quality systems, big one. So we have digitised just about everything we possibly can in terms of quality. So we can track production, we can track open work orders, which are QA issues that our QA people will find. Sue is an ex-Toyota employee, actually. She used to work in QA in their paint shop. So she is now QA for all of our plumbing. And she's been with us for 5 years and does an awesome job. And she's using our tablets facility, using a tablet-based digitised platform that we've designed to track all that. We even track our own PPE. So I can even tell you who's using a lot of gloves, glasses, Sharpie pens. Yeah, we just went nuts. We're tracking everything. And I think it's nice having that Hickory as our building, as our builder, big brother, with a network of lots of people to help us. Just-in-time delivery. So we own the transport part of it too. So we'll get the pods, and if we need to, store them in our yard, because we know that while we can control what's in our four walls and work in a controlled environment, we don't control what happens at the other end on a building site. Been there too when I first started at Hickory, so inclement weather and all the rest of the stuff that you guys know. So we own that whole process from design, manufacture, delivery, installation and training. So we'll come and train your people, and usually it's a plasterer, to come and install those things. In-house, okay, so here's a screenshot of lots of machinery that we have. I can go on for hours about that, but we won't. I think we've covered most of this, but I think what sets us apart from the competitors that are out there is that No one really approaches this as a manufacturing business. A lot of our competitors are tiny, so they might make 100 pods a year. So they don't have that investment in the technology and the commitment that we've put into it. We make 100 pods in a week. So we've invested heavily in design, in infrastructure and machinery to make sure that we hit those quality targets. The other thing is that we're not a construction site under a shed, in a shed. So that was a massive, massive task for me to to get people on the journey and start thinking more like manufacturers. And it's in our culture, right? It's in our DNA. We want to be better tomorrow than we were yesterday. So I think I went through that bit of philosophy stuff. This is how we think. So we design for manufacture, design for failure mode and effect. And that's all just fancy stuff for saying, let's sit down and predict what's going to go wrong before it goes wrong. Let's 3D model it virtually. Let's design review it. Let's validate and build a prototype. Let's put it on a shaker rig and shake the hell out of it and see what happens. Let's put it on a truck and send it, or a train and send it 3,000 kilometres to Perth. Then we'll start resolving those issues before start of production. And then we put together and then we manage that through process standardisation and metrics tracking. And you know what? The little things that do go wrong, we learn from those and we continuously improve. And the cycle just goes around again. Holiday Inn Express. So here you go. Here's some real stuff. And this is probably something I wanted to share because for our audience today, it's got probably the highest level of content of MEP and MEP in it. So traditionally, we're doing a lot of plumbing just usually on the back of the walls. Stuff here you can't see. But with other jobs, we put in a lot of, we put in ton dishes, venting, even ducting on the back of some pods as well. So we really try, and this pod's actually a double pod. So there's actually two bathrooms side by side here with a party wall in the middle as well. So that was another innovation we developed on how we can put in a modular, two bathrooms in one lift with a party wall and a whole bunch of MEP on it. We've done this twice now. This one was Holiday Inn Express. I can't remember which one this was. There's two of them. We did both. I think this just shows you a little bit about what we do in terms of the BIM and the planning and how we use what we use. We think, or we know, that we're leading modular bathrooms. We don't stop and compare ourselves to others. We really just want to be the best at what we do. And we're running our own race, and we just want to be better. And we just want to attract the right people, partner with the right people, network with the right groups, and see how we can collaborate with the rest of the industries and the things that you guys do and the plumbing guys do, and see how we can make it a better product. We're here to improve and enhance and train. We're not here to take away jobs. We're here to change the way things are built and make it better. We've solved a lot of problems. Hickory, our brother, our parent company, or original parent, because we're kind of standalone now, learn a lot of things about building and what can go wrong and what can go right. So we've tried to capture all that and make it right. We've partnered up with people overseas, and we're even exporting bathroom pods now to New Zealand as well. So I forgot to mention that. It's a pretty important milestone for us. We've got a big skill shortage over there, and we've already sent about 100 pods over to those guys. So it's good. That's it for me. Thanks very much. No worries.
Mind if we just
Oh,
go through
yeah.
a couple of questions?
No worries. Yeah. All right.
I guess firstly, just a bit of an observation. I think amazing to see what you guys have done.
Just get that mic up. Get that mic up.
In this industry, and taking some of those concepts. And these sort of things in real life actually happening. So, you know, overlaid with that opportunity and to sort of help people and help the industry where possible, you know, certainly something that we, you know, take our hats off to. So I just want to, I've been told there's a couple of questions online here.
We're good? Okay, I think we're all right now. All right. Hello, Eddie. Can you please advise where you obtain your building services components, i.e. fire sprinklers, flexible hose? How do you ensure compliance with applicable codes?
Sure. So that was for fire sprinkler?
Yeah, just
Okay.
for fire sprinklers, flexible hoses, etc.
Yeah, so good question. We buy that component as a sub-assembly from Learmark, who's one of our fire contractors. They produce that. We co-designed and they produced us a sprinkler assembly. So they pressure test and certify that before it comes to site, and it's just a simple matter of us installing it into our bathroom.
How do you go just with, you know, the sort of, I guess, the larger design aspect in terms of being able to install these pods in a building where, you know, traditional methods, all these trades would go in individually. So has there been a bit, I guess, with Hickory and maybe some of the other builders and developers, has there been a bit of collaboration there and being able to change that installation process on site?
Yeah, look, it's not difficult. It's not hard. It's just about thinking about it earlier, and to be honest, thinking about it at the right time. It's the time we should be, whenever we design a building, whether it's conventional or any other way, services should be at the forefront of our minds, in our opinion. We haven't had to change anything apart from potentially stack accessibility, because we're building the pod back to front to something conventional. But as I said before, the subcontractors are the people that build the building, and the builders are our customers, and it's great. But the work gets done when we sit down and do work with our subbies and collaborate, services coordination meetings, and we talk to the experts and we get their feedback. And most of them, 99% of people we've worked with, are wanting to embrace pods. They like it because it's standardised and systemised. They know what they're going to get, and we can deliver what they want and how they want to connect to it. So it's a no-brainer. It's just there's no barriers there. It's only the barriers that people want to put in front of it. Yeah. Getting pods up front and in early is always a better way to go though, because then we can have more input in the design with that ECI sort of stage.
Yeah. I know a lot of our members do, you know, pump skids and things like that, and have some prefab, certainly some pretty smart stuff going on. Just through your bathroom business, have you seen or thought about any opportunities? Do you sort of see these you know, similar sort of setups with DFMA in other areas of the buildings? Or sort of bathrooms were kind of the main thing that stood out?
What I think I see, and I'm not sure about the mechanical contractors group of people here, but what I see with builders is that at this stage they talk about it and they think they know what they're talking about, but they don't actually have a process champion or someone to see it through and really drive it through and maintain the discipline of doing it. What I've seen with some of the mechanical contractors is they live it and breathe it as a necessity because it's part of where they make a buck or not. And being, you know, the A.G. Coombs of the world, you know, manufacturing things in-house, and, you know, that's really smart. And, you know, we take our hat off to people that are self-performing and have the courage to do that work in-house. And I think they're the people, you know, those types of contractors that have got, you know, that prefab, and plumbers are doing it too, and lots of people are doing it because they just know it makes sense. Yeah. We're just doing it to a higher level.
And certainly good to see local.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. I just might see if is there any questions in the audience? for Eddie.
What's next? We
You
need.
see things like, I don't know, you guys are commercial, but you see things like, in the States, they've got, the prefab housing, you see boom over there with like Vauxhall and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like you guys are, too far off being able to do what they would, they're already doing sort of thing. So I was just
Well,
wondering,
we're already doing it, but not in our division. There's another division of there's another division called Hickory Building Systems that's already prefabricating buildings, concrete structures. We've built, Emma, 3 or 4 buildings, something like that. Half the time. Precast panels, essentially, with facades pre-attached. Get dropped in, drop our pods on top, drop another layer of floor on top, and you'll probably see, kind of gave you a sneaky little view there of how that floor above those bathroom pods is supported. So that certainly puts, when we start building like that, certainly puts pressure on our bathroom pod now, because it becomes a super critical path item, because it needs to go in before the next floor goes up. So, we're talking 70-storey buildings that we've built here in Melbourne using this. So Hickory's already there in that area as well.
I think we had another question somewhere here. Yep, just into the mic bud so everyone online can hear.
How much of a premium are you charging, or how much above a stick build do you guys, what's the premium they're paying for this type of construction? And is there a chance for you to make it cost neutral in the future?
Good question. And it depends on what you put in the bathroom, of course. So sometimes our customers like Mirvac use us to build stuff that they couldn't build on site. Full glass mirrors, giant pieces of glass, full-size Curlite, stuff that you need to build in an environment, we would certainly be much cheaper than building it on site. The costs premiums are involved in, there's some extra items that we need to put into our bathroom pod, which is the base, which is the chassis, if you like, of the structure. So we can't get away with that. So that's probably the biggest part of the premium cost. And also with anything modular, you've got to transport it somewhere. So those costs too are what we pay in premium. The other thing is that we can track our costs really well. I pretty much like you guys, as I call you guys manufacturers as well, and mechanical contractors. Building sites, I don't think, they can always argue and say you're more expensive, but they can't really justify, they don't seem to be able to justify their cost to me accurately. Cost isn't an issue for most of our builder development partners. Like I said, we built 30,000 of these things now in 8 years, so people are seeing the benefits. Is that we're a reliable product that turns up on time and with almost 0 defects. So I know I didn't answer your question, but it was kind of purposely not answering your question too.
Thanks, Eddie. We've just got another one online here. It says, thanks for the great presentation. You showed us the Revit model. Are you only using the model as a reference for assembly, or do you use both the model and the drawing? So I'm just trying to, if I understand that question, I guess, was it Revit or Inventor you're using? Yeah. And then are you using the model's dimensional data for fabrication and all that sort of stuff?
Sure, good question. We don't use Revit. We don't like Revit very much. So sorry, Autodesk people in the room. We love Inventor, and we use that because it talks really well to our machines. So we do a lot of cutting and folding and bending and fabricating. So Inventor works really well, and we find that Inventor gets a lot more into the detail than what we do is we convert models into something Revit can read, and then we send that to someone who's controlling the BIM model. So we just become one little building block of that. And that's how we roll. So we work internally, and then we export files where necessary to join the bigger picture, the bigger model.
All right, fantastic. I think we've got one over here.
Any struggling with prefab off-site and facing union input on-site, or taking away, a position on-site where traditional methods would be used?
No, is the answer.
That's simple.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions? I think we're pretty much done. So thanks, Eddie. I might hand over to Charlie and.
Sure. Round of applause for you guys. Thanks, bud.
Thanks.